Good morning. So, I thought I was going to talk a little bit about Java 9 this fine Friday morning. So I'm not going to cover everything about Java 9. I want to specifically touch on something that I find it's fairly interesting, and it's a bold move by Oracle. So in essence, there is a suggestion to the specification which is called incubator modules, or which ties into the module system. And for those of you who don't know this, the module system is basically a way that you can import, or the incubator modules, they're basically a way that where you can, as a developer, import features into your code that have not gotten the stamp of approval or been supported fully by Oracle or by the JVM team, basically. So what this means is something, it's very close to what you see in Babel land for like React and JavaScript and so forth. In essence, you have a way of trying out features that are not fully supported yet. Experimental features, if you will, or features where the interface or the implementation may or may not change. And if you consider this move toward the excitement, people are divided on this. Some people are very, very excited about this, and some people are a little bit reserved about it. Basically there is these two camps are at they have strong, both of them have strong arguments. So this argument against is basically that, well, one of the strongest arguments against is that, well, you know, you don't want to add things to your code base that will change over time, because what if you're starting to depend on a feature, then all of a sudden the package maintainers or the library maintainer changes the interface, and then all of a sudden your production code needs to be updated in order to accommodate this new change. And the people who are advocates of this are saying that, well, you don't have to opt in to things just because you can, and this is a great way for people to get up and running with new additions to the Java libraries, basically. Or to the repository. Well, doesn't have to be Maven, but I think most people use Maven for package dependencies in Java land. So the reason I want to touch on this is because this kind of proves to me that it's something I've spoken very briefly about in a video where, as you may or may not know, that Oracle is handing control, or they're planning on handing control of Java Enterprise over to a third party, which is most likely going to be either the Eclipse Foundation or something of that nature, maybe Apache. And what's cool about what this moves, this strengthens my belief that what Java is trying to catch up to the younger languages in terms of innovation and adoption rate. And it feels to me as if they have realized that the only way that the Java platform is going to stay relevant, because they are I think they got scared shitless when Node passed them I think they passed them this year, just a few months ago actually, in terms of language popularity. I think that they got scared. I think they realized that they needed to make a change, and that in essence they needed to maintain control over Java, because, you know, Oracle is a profit-driven company, but they still want to be able to have this grow the brand and grow the community. And the best way to increase adoption rate for a language, if you look at what Node is doing, is to, well, not just Node, but it is to open source things, or rather make them community based, so that people can contribute at their own leisure, because the more people you have creating packages and adding stuff to the platform, the faster you can move in every direction, and the brand grows exponentially. So I think that's a really great move. Now, the thing that I wonder, which I am unsure about, because in this debate, are incubators a good or bad thing. I have to say that I'm leaning towards that. I don't know if this is, at least it's not for me. And the reason for that is because of the motivations that I use Java. Now, if it's Java and C# are the workhorses of the programming languages in the world. They are the go-to when you want to have something that is going to be very stable. There's going to be a lot of developers in comparison to other languages where you can find people who know their stuff. You find seniors. Like, I think that it's not too much to say that if you're one of those companies who only hire really senior people, like we're talking maybe 10 years of experience, you're going to be very hard pressed to find somebody who is an expert in, like, well, Node is completely impossible, but you're most likely going to find Java or .NET people or C#, whatever. And so that makes me, like, to me, Java is this stability choice. You don't pick Java if you're about performance, like raw performance. If you want to be on the bleeding edge of performance, you don't pick Java. You don't pick Java if you want to be trendy and get young hungry developers in their 20s and their 30s. That's also not a Java choice. You don't pick Java if you're looking to, I don't know, if you're looking to have the most up-to-date and modern tech stack and play with, like, relevant tools, because quite frankly Java doesn't have that community. Like, to me it feels like you're starting in the, it's a good move. It's a good move to get there, but I think it's like putting the horse before the cart. So in Node.js land, there is, like, people expect, like, the package ecosystem is so chaotic in comparison, so fast, it moves so quickly that you kind of expect, like, most people, like, it's almost a standing joke where we say that, oh, there's a new JS framework or a new package or whatever coming out every week, and there is quite literally something very similar to that. So what I'm trying to say here is that I think what's going to happen is that you can add this incubator system in place, and I don't think that's going to do much for, like, the intention is good, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, because quite frankly the ecosystem when it comes to package development in Java is fairly slow. It's not happening in the way that it should be happening. It might be that the reason for this is because it's such a hard thing to do. Like, it's not easy to get stuff up on Maven and, like, the repositories and get things going. I'm saying that the Java community is a little bit reserved in terms of this, which is what I was saying about, like, the perception of the language. Like, you pick Java, in my opinion, because it's so stable, or rather because it's a known tried and true technology. It's the same thing with C and C++. You don't pick these languages because you want the trendiest, hippest thing. You have a very specific need, and I think one of the most important things that Java does really well is stability, and I don't think that this incubator is going to add value to the platform. I simply think that it's, in my opinion, a little bit of a desperate attempt on Oracle's side to try to keep Java relevant. It's not a bad thing, I just don't think it's going to work out the way that it worked out for Node.js.